This episode is brought to you through a collaboration with the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History in Washington, D.C., and the Field Museum in Chicago, Illinois.
We have at least 427,000 specimens of worms. We probably have more.
So, can you define what is a worm?
There are things that tend to be long and thin, and they don't have backbones. There's a lot of things that can be like that may not actually be worms. So it's a little bit of a difficult question. It's a general term that describes sort of a body plan. It may be surprising to some people, but there's many different kinds of worms out there. It turns out there's about 12 phyla of worms in the world.
And so if you can imagine the taxonomic tree of life, I guess, what does it mean to be a separate phyla?
So it goes from kingdom, phyla, class, order, family, genus, species. Here we have a selection of some worms. Some of these are the larger specimens. We have everything from some polychaetes, these are marine worms, and then we also have worms that live inside of vertebrates, like nematodes, tapeworms, some of the larval stages of the parasitic worms.
Like this one, these weird balloon things?
So these are larvae of tapeworms.
Those are baby tapeworms.
Yeah.
Really cute.
It's a little different because they have complex life cycles.
Yeah.
So they're going to pass through this larval stage on their way to being in a different host. You wouldn't necessarily recognize that this worm looks very similar to this.
Yeah, this looks like some spaghetti.
Yeah, a lot of people compare it to pasta.
We probably shouldn't do that. We'll ruin pasta for people.
Don't eat tapeworms.
What other worms are we talking about today? We got this guy.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite specimens.
Who's this?
This is a giant leech. So this is the giant Amazonian leech.
Wow.
So you can guess where they live. Generally in the wild, they're a little smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy lived in a lab and had as much food as he wanted.
And when you say food, I mean, are you putting kibble in its tank?
No, this one feeds on blood. We affectionately call this leech Grandma Moses because she is quite large.
How long did she live in the lab?
I don't know, but there's a very famous picture of a famous leech biologist with Grandma Moses laying on his arm.
I really feel like I've met a celebrity leech today. And they're what kind of worm are they?
They are in the phylum Annelida. So leeches, their closest relatives are earthworms. They look a little different to a scientist because we know certain characters to look for, namely because they have that blood-feeding nature, whereas earthworms are not. But one of the things that makes earthworms and leeches similar to each other is that they are hermaphrodites.